Borderlands 3 is a must-play game, an immense improvement from its predecessor back in 2012 when Borderlands 2 launched, and more recently we had the Handsome Collection, which enabled us all to replay through Borderlands, a pre-sequel, and Borderlands 2 on our current generation consoles. I wasn't expecting as much as I got from those early hours of Borderlands 3, and I want to talk to you guys about my first impressions, as I think first impressions are always crucial with a video game. You have to go in with it with an open mind and an open heart, and this game was incredibly hyped, and obviously the reviews were out before I got a chance to play. I'm always a little bit skeptical. There've been a lot of issues and broken promises from the gaming world of late, but I genuinely believe that Borderlands 3 delivered. So Borderlands 2 took place on Pandora, as we know. They were very, very mild iterations of the landscape and terrain. I personally found it very, very flat. And you start off on Pandora in Borderlands 3. So before we talk about the graphics, before we talk about the differences, I want to talk to you guys about the environment. So you're on Pandora, and I was starting to feel, maybe kind of 2 hours in, a little bit like, is this going to be it again? Are we just looking at an absolute upscale of Borderlands 2 with better textures, with better lines, with better colour palettes? Are we just going to float around on Pandora? I deliberately stayed away from kind of previews and all the different kind of hype, kind of details around it. I know it was like a hugely hyped game, but the details I stayed away from because I wanted to experience it myself. So 2 hours and 45 minutes in, the opportunity arose to leave Pandora and go to a completely different environment / planet. But in order to get there, you're on a ship. And it took me, like, not only is the ship really, really cool, the Sanctuary it's called, it's so cool. There's some really awesome characters on there. There's different layers to the ship. You've got, you know, obviously you can be in the kind of, on the bridge, and you can just see absolutely everything. You really do feel like it took me back to the Mass Effect 2 days on the Xbox 360, where you're flying through space and Shepard and a crew are just kind of talking and deciding on which mission to go to. It reminded me of that level of immersion. And then when I stepped out on the first planet, Promethea, gone hath the bland rocks of Pandora and mild desert areas of Pandora, and in comes this amazing kind of cyberpunk-esque cel-shaded Borderlands 3-star planet, and it was just an absolute delight to witness. And this all kind of came within my first stream, so I don't want to kind of spoil this for anybody, but it's immense. So if you're kind of like me and you go at a steady pace, you can expect to hit your first planet between 3 and 3.5 hours in. Now there's lots more planets to experience, and for me that brings just so much more wonderment and like so much more excitement to know what's coming, because when I streamed Borderlands 2 a couple of weeks ago, in the hype of the build-up towards Borderlands 3, I felt bored. I felt uninspired. I didn't really enjoy it because I know now Pandora just was, for me, it was just so flat. So environmentally, Borderlands 3 is a massive upstep. Graphics and textures straight away. Now, well, first of all, I'm playing on a base PS4 and it looks crisp. The lines, the detail, like Claptrap is the first character you come to meet, and you can just see the level of detail is so much more immense. He looks a little bit more broken down. There's so many more scratches and knocks and kind of like dents in him. You know, it's a really, really fleshed out Claptrap, and that goes for the rest of the world as well. You know, the vending machines you go up to, you know, as you know, you can kind of restock your ammo, you can buy guns, you can buy medication. All the vending machines are there, but the detail really does pop. Another thing that I loved about the vending machines as well was, if you want to kind of like go and stock up your ammo, it's just a quick press of a button to refill your ammo. You don't have to faff about going into menus anymore, so you can play the game a lot more seamlessly, which adds a much faster pace in my opinion. I absolutely love it so far, and if you choose to avoid Borderlands 3 or you're waiting for a price drop, then I think you're missing out on these early stages of excitement. Now the enemies are the same. You've got the psychos, well, the different kind of breeds of psychos, the male psychos, the female psychos, all the different kind of levels of enemies. Obviously you start off as level 1. As you level up, you come into contact with enemies that mimic your level. Maybe they're one level higher, just to add that extra layer of challenge. It's just so eccentric and so fast paced. I love the little tinks, you know, just everything about it so far. For me, I haven't felt this excited about a game. I thought I was impressed with Days Gone. I thought for me, Days Gone is immersion. It's like the dilapidated, post-apocalyptic, zombie-esque world. You know, I'm completely separated from reality. I thought Days Gone for me was going to be my game of the year. But now I'm starting to wonder, is Borderlands 3 going to be my best gaming experience of 2019? I hope so. And if it carries on the way it's going with the new planets, you know, being able to do more things on your ship, being able to maybe customize your ship, things are just going to open up so much more. I just can't wait to continue to play it. Now, is there anything I don't really like about Borderlands 3 this far? Because this is not a full review. This is my first impressions of Borderlands 3. Sometimes there's a little bit of delayed rendering, so, you know, and again, I'm playing on a base PS4. I doubt that there's this issue on the X. I doubt there's this issue on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But if you've got a vanilla PS4, like me, I've got a Pro, but I stream on the base PS4, there's a little bit of texturizing issue. So if you meet a character, like say you meet Ellie for the first time, it's not until maybe like a second after you're like immediately face to face with her that all of the textures, lines and colors start to kind of like be there. You know, so you can see a little bit of rendering popping, but I put that down to the hardware of the PlayStation 4. The reason the Pro isn't up there is because I can't get my 4K TV on the streaming setup because it's just too big. So, and I like to talk about first impressions playing on base models, because if you can get a good experience on the worst possible current gen console, like the weakest, so to speak, well, the Xbox One's the weakest, but you know, one of those kind of lower tier consoles, if you can get a good experience on that, then you're going to get a good experience on your Pros, on your slimline HDRs, and on the Xbox One X. So since I've realised how much I've been enjoying Borderlands 3, I've started to look at some additional reviews on YouTube, and I'm seeing a ton more things that I'm excited to experience, like the different vehicles you can get into, on the different planets, all the different bosses. Like it really is just kind of like whetting my appetite for more. And I hope even at this early stage, we get to see some DLC, some story DLC that doesn't cost the earth, because I'd really like this experience to continue. I'm absolutely elated so far. Now, the characters that you're familiar with within the Borderlands world, they're back in Borderlands 3. So it's nice to see some familiar faces, and it's not until you meet those familiar faces that you realise just how nice it looks. Like, when I played Borderlands for the first time, I was blown away. Then I played Borderlands 2, and I was blown away with the graphics and textures. And now I'm playing Borderlands 3, and again, my experience is amplified at this kind of new next-gen technology. It just looks absolutely stunning, like Lilith, Ellie, obviously Claptrap, you know, even down to like some of the baseline, most common enemies like the Psychos. You know, when you meet them, you're like, wow. Like the attention to detail, these devs have really gone all out. Signs, things you find on desks, kind of like, you know, you wander into a building, there's a desk and a computer monitor and a TV with some kind of static, you know, picture on it. And it's just like the detail is just so awesome. I just love how quirky it is. But that's Borderlands. It's quirky, it's confident, it's eccentric, and I'm just blown away. So you might not be a fan of 2K or Gearbox or whatever, but that's you know, you're missing out. I think we need to see this as a valuable gaming experience, and I would highly recommend playing Borderlands 3 now. Don't even wait. For me, it is definitely worth full price. I don't know how long it's going to take me to beat the main campaign, but as ever, I'm already coming across a ton of side missions to get my teeth sank into, and accessing them in the menu system is super easy. If you're familiar with the Borderlands 2 menu system, you've got like your map, your quest list, and your abilities. You can it's a very, very similar situation. I would say, like with the map, it's interesting because there's a more of a kind of 3D element to it. You can see the different layers. So if you've got like a cliff, for example, and your kind of map default is you kind of at the top of the cliff and you want to see what's at the bottom to get to your objective, it will be grayed out. And until you bring the map on, you know, on the map screen down to its level, only then will it become filled, and the top of the map will be kind of have like a 50% opacity. So there's definitely a nice kind of adjustment with the map that definitely makes it easier to kind of see where you're going and where you need to go. Menus, super easy. There's four characters you can pick. I started with Amara. I think I'm going to play back through with Flak. Flak really intrigued me, but I started with Amara, and the customizations are excellent as well. You can change your character's head, costume, colour kind of coding, you know, there's so much customization. Just give me more. So I think I've ranted enough about my love for Borderlands 3. Please follow me on Mixer, and I do stream here to YouTube as well if you want to see more adventures unfold for me in Borderlands 3. It's been a wicked stream so far, and I cannot wait to go for more. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I will be back on Wednesday with more content. Please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to just buy Borderlands 3. I'm going to leave it there. Take care. My name's Gemma. See you soon.